Back we are. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh. Guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got alert, pal. Make a detective run all around while on duty. To top it all off, you call me here? I've seen happy people at funerals. I think Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give you this. She asked me to give this to you, if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law. Edgeworth was talking about this the other day. The 2 rules of evidence law. No evidence shall be shown without approval from the police department. Seems so. I don't know much about evidence law. That's fine. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said if you're planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book. Him? I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Evidence law securely slipped into pocket. Doesn't look like the book will be any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat. Despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Mr. Edgeworth! The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Now a Skye found out she unwittingly caused a man's death. And now, you're telling me you want to do more? You've got to be kidding me, pal! You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? We're gonna expose him. No matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. The plot thickens. Oh, it's so thick. It's thick. Anyway. No. Thick. Anyway. The court will reconvene for the trial of Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor? The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness, but, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses? I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone's been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have the solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. The, defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright. You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls... Time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Miss Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, huh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. Yo, Phoenix Wright in the chat. Wow. How you doing? Alright, I gotta head over to our friend's place. Good luck cracking the case. You have a good one, Yellow Ring. I'll probably be alive the rest of the day. How you doing, Phoenix Wright? We're acing the attorneys. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto! What's with the grim face? I forgot Gant exists. I'm gonna make him not exist, and after this fucking trial. I'll tell you what right now. First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? He's such a dick. Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. I swear, you missed it. I've been streaming this all week. I started Monday, like, I wanted to do, like, stream through the whole trilogy, and I got through, like, the first 4 missions pretty quick. I have been doing this one for a day and a half. Oh, I spent over 9 hours yesterday. Not even close at, like... It's such a long case. It's ridiculous. Anyway. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You're aware, of course, that the chief of police, a police chief, has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it a certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may begin his testimony. The SL9 incident. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Dark A was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Darkey bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I better hit him hard and fast. All right. Let's get it. Press. Hold it! As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. What's up? Hey, Nanashi, welcome back. We're gonna beat this case. We're gonna beat this case today. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Darkey and made him run away like that. Was the defendant Lana Skye also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Darkey ran for it. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Darkey made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. Guess you could say he got lucky. What's this about a power outage? Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil when that knife went into his heart, though. That's not funny. That's really fucked up. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and the serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Darkey was also lying collapsed on the floor? Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls. Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known that what her sister had done. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been removed. So that means you found the body near Lana's desk. That's right. I think you said earlier, it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutors. Yes. Anyway. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable, no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you're better off staring at the court record. Worthy, worthy, always a smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Anna did admit to forging evidence. That can't be the whole truth. So I gotta link Gant to the incident. Okay. Okay. Well, let's see. We got a lot of evidence to sort through. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the trial. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna start out by presenting the evidence list because he hid half of it.
Objection!
You claim he had nothing to do with the forgery, but I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example. That's the list Emma Sky drew her picture on. This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, a piece of this jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe. It was found where? You see, Chief Gaunt, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Gaunt, what is the meaning of this? Oh, he is a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery. Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who stuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy! Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office. And their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Let's see. What was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they are found after Dark A was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand, you understand that I'm the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Indeed, I believe I'll press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. All right, Udgy. In return, though. I know. That place, right? Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? I appreciate you stop making these ridiculous accusations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? I'll have you know that back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped. Mr. Wright, what are you saying? Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in evidence. Can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Righto's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. Grr. I'm never face anyone slimy as this guy. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at the crime scene isn't forgery... I'm not through speaking yet, righto? It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. Are you saying that this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Darkey was sentenced.
Objection!
Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right. The chief is talking about a possibility. So long as you can't rule that out, your remarks, however clear they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Come now, righto! Think about it. There's no reason I participate in a forgery. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? Really, Chief Kant? At the very least, there's one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh? The resolution of this SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is a sufficient motive. Ho, ho, ho! Oh, that's a good one, righto. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of the SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway. Gah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means... there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. What a dick. There, it's out in the open now. Oh gee, would you mind if I changed my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Ho, ho, ho! That's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? True, you might not help anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to betray the chief. As a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I mean. Very well then, who is the person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? Well, obviously Lana Skye. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye, the defendant. I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would have reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Getting all comfortable. There we go. Self-profit? Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But, how would he profit at all from all this? He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially. He would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh, wait! You must mean puppet isn't someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. The hell? Okay. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you can control her. Righto, my boy! You may have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless... that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about... the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. What do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? What? Order! 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 I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest-ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That impossible! Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said to easier understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. All right, then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got. And it better be good. Show us his evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. This is the ID card list. Yes, it's the one that shows who entered the evidence room at the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list that we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 777-7777-7. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. The 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777-7777-7. The same as the remaining ID number card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Order! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search of my office was a violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you. What about the use of this ID card? Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room? On the day of the crime? What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me. When you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. The trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm gonna have to ask you for evidence. So as proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Proof. I need proof. Okay, let's see. What's proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime? Is it the murder weapon? It's gotta be, I mean, it could be the murder weapon because that would prove, because there's... That doesn't prove on the day of the crime. Wait. Maybe it's this, Lost item report? Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. Hey, that was right, I got it. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means that you can't be sure if he filed it. If he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took that form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way the murder of the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered that room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I'm the chief of police. The chief of police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of that sort.
Objection!
Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. If you showed us your ID card earlier, if you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. No! That was a good one. That was a good. Chief Gant, you didn't. The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime for no one in the The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting something, Mr. Wright. That the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you! Take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we needed to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all the time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. What's that? A screwdriver? What does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because... Gah! I was asked to go by the Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. And in the case of the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean I The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car? Yes, unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you ask Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. Transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order! 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 What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not the photo of a body being stuffed into their trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gaunt, please say something. I believe... Your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special. But, the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking it right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all of this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman, that's what you were saying. Right? If you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gaunt is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gaunt murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body. Do I have any concrete proof? Can't let him just squirm his way out of this one. I gotta keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor. I do have such evidence. And please hurry up and present it. Just remember, I better prove Chief Gaunt murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of a doubt. Is it the evidence room floor plans? So, what exactly is this evidence? It's proof as to whether or not it's enough to demonstrate the chief's guilt. I'll let you be the judge. But I am the judge. All right. Well, what do you think, Your Honor? What I think, Mr. Wright, is that I'm going to be late for lunch. Guess it wasn't enough. Please, Your Honor, give me a little longer to consider. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gaunt is the current chief of police. Court not tolerate concrete proof. Mr. Wright. Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gaunt murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body. Can't let him just squirm his way out of this one. Better prove Chief Gott murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of a doubt. What would be the switchblade knife, right? Because no one else could have gone to the evidence room to grab it. Ah, shit. That's not it. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Alright. I don't have any proof. It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, Uji? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto? It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Uji, I'll leave the rest to you. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to the senior office in our nation. A senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. What? Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the only one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth. We can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now Hold on! Huh? Chief Gant! I thought you were going to eat! Listen good, Lana! He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. Ah! This isn't good. Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? It's just something to think about. All right, then. I've got a lunch date to meet. Okay. If there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. Looks like you managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's sure something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe? I'm not a detective anymore. Oh, yes. Sorry about that. Don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office. My office? Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he mean Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief God's done it again. How is he always get? How is it he always gets the upper hand? That's not fair. He has the right to refuse to testify. It's not fair that he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, right? Because he's a fuckwad. That's right, Allie. How you doing, Allie? Remember what the judge said. But Chief, that's not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What do you mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. I mean, he forfeits his right to say anything, too. Hey, Emma! Are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma? I'm sorry for what I said before. Hey! Doing better today? That's great. It's like 5? That is like 5. Wow. Look at you. It's like I've been streaming 5 days in a row. I can't believe I played for 9 hours yesterday. Over 9 hours, nearly 10 hours, but 9 hours of straight Phoenix Wright. I didn't finish his case. Crazy at 5 whole days in a row. I know. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. This case is it's so long. I almost feel somehow relieved. But it's gay as hell, so that's neat. The last one was the gayest one, though. Relieved? Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. Think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. Oh, God, I hit myself in the chest with that. What? Okay. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside, to force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we'd better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there. When Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. To be continued. And then they went to court holding hands. Yeah. It is interesting how they're like trying to basically work together. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? Miss Lana Skye. Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know that all I've done the past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana's so pretty. She is. She is very pretty. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief God. Everything hinges on your testimony. I love when women... I know. You're the only chance we've got. We have to... You're the only chance we have to get Gaunt. I worked alongside Gaunt for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Darkay convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana... If this is true, then that means Chief Gaunt had nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. What if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah. There's no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Okay. I'm just a little tired. It's no big deal. So it's like one of those things, like when you're constantly reading for an hour, you know, I have to like sit up, move around, adjust. I get the same thing when I play Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Like I get sleepy randomly during it. I know. I am drinking lots of water, trying to keep my voice rested. I did sleep a decent amount last night. I got at least like 6 hours. I'm gonna take like a 20-minute break once we finish this game. I'm gonna take a little break I'm gonna take like an in-stream break after we finish this case and before we start 2. So that usually helps recharge. Also, standing up and walking around and moving around helps as well. So I'm fine. It's just, you know, a lot of game. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years. Detective Gaunt and Detective Skye were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good coming from the same school as Mia. Thank you, Allie. I appreciate you. I appreciate you worrying about me. Damon Gaunt was a respectable detective. That's why. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Darkey was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. What she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana! So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself. Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken Prosecutor Award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Darkey? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Darkey was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the ground a little distance away. He was probably knocked away in the struggle. It's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up for her lies with more lies. All just to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. Yeah, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. I broke off the tip of Darkey's knife and planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. You planted the tip of Darkey's knife, then you moved the body? Lana, Mia would be so ashamed of you. Go, yeah, I know. But why? Why would you do that? Also, the knife was already broken. We know the knife was already broken. You of all people should know that, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others. I'm confused about both of these. I'm gonna ask, why did they move the body? When you showed up in the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gaunt's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. What the fuck are you talking? The pieces of the jar, you mean... Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Darkey committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Darkey was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during the struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. There's a few. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. My only motivation was to get Dark-A convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Okay, let's give me a little more on that. Give me a little more on that here. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You willing to risk a death sentence? She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Okay. You planted the tip of Dark-A's knife and then moved the body. But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. It isn't that bad. Why did you plant the knife? But why did you do that? Come now, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure that out. Very well, let's add this to the witness's testimony. The reason Miss Skye fabricated the knife. I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in his body would be all the proof we needed. Hold it. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right? Yes, and leaving it at that point, the blame might point the blame away from Dark-A. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body. Phoenix, please. I know. He's a bit of a dummy. Feel like a child every time Phoenix says, my head isn't that bad. So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound. Yes, because I hated Dark-A for what he did. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right? Yes, and leaving it at that point might point the blame away from Dark-A. I felt that was it. Okay, we already know this one. I have evidence to present here. Yeah.
Objection!
The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. What? That doesn't count? Come on, it does make sense. The knife was already broken. How could she plant the tip of the knife in there if the knife was broken? Oh, because it wasn't... Oh, no, I realize now. Because he wasn't holding... The person who was holding the knife was... Okay, no, I'm wrong. I should have thought about that. I forgot. We already figured out that wasn't true. Okay. That's on me. Okay. Nothing to do with Emma. Something about that doesn't make any sense. Let's think. The tip of what buried in his body would be all the proof we needed. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted, nothing to do with Emma. Okay, well, what about the vase that said Emma? Oh, that's not it either? Okay, I'm not fucking around. I'm gonna look. All right. I noticed it took away one of the, I didn't realize it took away one of the actual responses she had when she was talking about the pot. So let's go back and get that one in here. Okay. Message jar earlier. Yeah, we already went over all this. Piece of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Present the jar. Miss Sky, oh, there we go. See, there it is. Okay. Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Nia Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life would have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction with your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? It's more likely than you think. You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have any problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on the jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in its final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to have written his message on the jar, it must not have been broken before he died. Ah! He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Order! Order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor. It seems you are in the dark as well. It seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments are large, so I'm sure I got all of them. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Darkei was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier. It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case. Not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them into dust. Well, that helps my case. Lana, you do that for me? Seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Darkei killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments are large, so I'm sure I got them all. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective was always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a body of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. So you legally rearranged the crime scene? Yes. I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I treated you so badly all this time. It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make it up. After we got to the bottom of this incident. No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office. More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Push the jar on her. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals the truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of the jar in Chief Gaunt's safe. In the chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still some blood on it. But the witness just that she gathered every piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes. Which leaves us only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up at the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. Drama! That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that? Yes, I can believe that, Judge. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying that this person was Chief Gant at the time. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Darkey downstairs. Besides, even if he was there, why would he break the jar? It definitely was him. Of course it was him. The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? Yes. No! I watched Scooby-Doo too. It's always the rich people who are cops. It's true. It's true. It's true. The likeliest suspects. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived to the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. Why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Darkey, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief puppet. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. You don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. I guess you do seem like the type who likes to twist the truth. A dog barking me for food. I'll lurk me back. You go feed that dog. That's Scooby. That dog's basically like Scooby-Doo. They're trying to get you to stop a rich person or a fucking real estate developer. It's always the real estate developers. Careful with those people. Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana may be right after all. What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies then, right? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright. Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember her knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there's a possibility that it will if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. All right, the witness may testify once more for the final time. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Darkay were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable! The body was impaled on this armor sword. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What, to me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encounter it. Thought it might be needed. I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you. Very well, Mr. Wright, please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana says she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. I see a picture in there somewhere. Evidence law. Oh. Oh, God. Hey, there's a picture in here. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detectives saw the crime scene like this. Before I contacted Criminal Affairs... Oh, because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Lana's pictures are inserted into the court record. Gasp, Mr. Wright. That piece cut out from his vest, could that be? The cloth you found inside Chief Gaunt's safe. This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth, it has fingerprints on it. Whoever's fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyways, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. When I arrived... Oh. Oh, okay. Come now, Uji. This is the poorest excuse of a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gaunt? What, now you want me to make me out as a bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back and relax. And enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your neck. Your own neck. Gah! Gah! Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even so, even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. That's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. Someone. So, what's your excuse, righto? You may have been keeping quiet about it, but you do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? I showed that piece of evidence now. I'm assured to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal Anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed the prosecutor marshal? Show evidence. Show the evidence. Yes, Your Honor, I do have further evidence. All right, the time's finally come to show it to them. Those prints have got to be the chief's. Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. It's a piece of leather cloth. Yes, it's most likely cut from the victim's vest near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim onto the sword. What? What? Whose fingerprints are these? Whose fingerprints are on these? I'm sure Righto has checked, haven't you? Well, whose are they? They're Miss Sky's. Emma Sky's. What? They're mine? So I really did do it. See? I told you it was conclusive. But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? But... give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death. No. It appears we have our killer. No. No! Everything hinged on that point. In the end, Lana alone was found guilty on all counts. What? What? That's the wrong thing to do? No, I have so much game to go back through. No! No! It's been a half hour! It's been 40 minutes, more like it. Jesus Christ. We're gonna speed run through this. Fucking Christ. Oh my gosh. Fuck you. What the fuck is that? Okay, get into the fabrication. I swear to God, I'm gonna blow. How many years exactly? Okay. I say you did that. What? We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through it, don't worry. Can I have the tip? Why did you move the body? There we go. Okay, the jar. Okay. Come on, we'll get through this. Come on.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it!
Aim in the jar. Rather shocking. Safe to wipe away the blood.
Hold it!
Hold it. Represent it.
Objection!
Sky, I believe this jar conceals this. Because that part's got blood on it, so you didn't get all of it. You dummy.
Objection! Objection! Objection!
The judge freaking out. For why? Unbelievable. All right, we go here, we check it. The picture, the crime scene, with this piece cut out. All right. Actual crime scene. Hold it. And now we have Gaunt. Okay, here we go. We're almost back to where we were. Do I have conclusive evidence? Cannot show evidence. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie! Chief Gaunt. You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gaunt? What are you talking about, Chief Gaunt? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, then when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body, and then move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Darkey convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This is before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Oh man, he's back. Ew. I know. He's back and he sucks. I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Ho ho ho! Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I keep one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, righto. Cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gaunt. That you were the one hiding the cloth cut from the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, righto. You should have shown it then, before it was too late. It's been a long battle. The moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess this up, victory is mine. We're gonna save here. We're gonna do a little save-a-rooney. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes, at least you finally brought it out to the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests for that to be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. This must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean, it could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Ho 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 ho! You're as slow in the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Raito had all the time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well, I'll tell you. Should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is...
Take that!
Emma! Emma Sky? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, ho, ho, ho! You're really something, righto. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still try to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to this death. Hold it! How could you? You monster! Miss Sky, you knew whose fingerprints were on those all along, and yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you're absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? No. I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What contradiction? What? A contradiction? What is this fool blabbering about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical end ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Is this glove? Try that. Let's try this. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where that piece, see where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on that vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. It's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth. Wait, there's no blood on it. Ah! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. This is nonsense! Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Skye, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armorer's sword? And to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. To make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only a moments ago. That you personally cut out the bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. Yeah! Get him! It's finally all over. Ugh. Oh, that was close, Righto. You almost had me. Sorry, but you'll have to be better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see that piece of cloth? It's illegal evidence. Order, order. What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Uji. Earlier, old Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. So then what's your excuse, Righto? You do have something conclusive, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. That's not fair. Ho 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 ho! Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit it? Do you admit to it? Do you purposely and illegally conceal that piece of cloth? I did not. I admit I refused to present it at one point. Edgy Phoenix is gonna smooch. Allie. Aha! So the evidence is illegal! No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present the evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? It's like when I watch Pride and Prejudice and I know they won't kiss in the rain, but maybe this time they will. There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Uji, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward, and you can't believe. There's only one issue left to be resolved. There's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. Gant is basically All Might. Yeah, I mean, an asshole version of All Might, but yeah. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. Is it with the book? No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence the book. All Might is also you guys hate All Might. Wow, okay, that's fair. 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 This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this is merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written in here in the book, the second rule of evidence law. Listen, I don't watch My Hero Academia. I'm learning from Senran in this moment. I see. Hey, if you're learning, as long as we're all learning together, that's what's important. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case of the trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and...
Objection!
Sorry, but can you recall? When was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. We're gaining knowledge, and we're prosecuting Gant. Finally, he'll be undone. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes. No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you. He's going crazy on it. He's going crazy on it, guys. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. I am here, Gant might. I love it. Love is grand. Wow, it's like Damon Gant is in the room with us now. Thank you. That was a dramatic performance. I hope the audience was satisfied with that. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, partner, I'll lose my chance to find out the truth. Please, if you gotta help me. Go beyond. Pull off subjection. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jack Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the evidence? Can you please open the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There may be too many questions left unanswered, Chief. Chief, we gotta get this going, Chief. You can't see what I'm applauding. I'm glad you're applauding. Thank you, Allie. He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late, Chief. We're gonna hand all this over to Marshall. I'm gonna hand it over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it, that accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible for you to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who had stumbled in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Killing a man? Oh, the handprint, yeah. No, killing the man wasn't a mistake. That was fine. That's fine. There's no mistake there. That's normal. Sometimes you murder somebody. It's fine. It's fine. Don't be too weird about this. Make this weird. I'm sorry, but I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Grr! Leaving the prosecutor's car aside, how could you get Miss Sky involved in all this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. Sometimes you trip and whoopsie-davy, you stabbed a man. Like, it happens, it's a series of events. Sometimes you gotta hide. It's fine. It's fine. It's no big deal. Come on now. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. But I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So you left the jar fragments in the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why did you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. Here's one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, it looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Uchi. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Uchi. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Raito here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sound of a new beginning. Can you remind me why he wanted the dude dead? He doesn't have to go alone, though. He's got his husband. Exactly. He killed the prosecutor Marshall, so that he could pin the death on, they could use the death as as evidence against Darkhay, because they didn't have any evidence on him at the moment, right? So if he killed Marshall, and then they pin the death on Darkhay, then they have the killer, right? So he did it that way, right? So that Lana would come in and think her sister did it. So that Lana would then go and stage the crime scene so that it looked like Darkhay had killed Marshall. Therefore, Gant not only gets his main goal, gets his first goal of getting Darkhay put in prison and executed, he also gets Lana indebted to him because he's blackmailing her little sister, basically, because now he thinks her little sister committed the crime. So he like lied to everyone so that he could control the prosecutor's office and also get the serial killer that he didn't have evidence for. These are the two things I want you to understand. Yes. First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. Yes, no problem. No problem at all. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. In that time, I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky? And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. Huh, it was nothing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you, and yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. So stop it! I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky? Yes, Your Honor? You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Well, this trial has gone on for far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. Yay! Not guilty! That is all. The court is adjourned. Finally, we did it. Ugh. At long last, it's finally over. Jesus Christ. 2.5 hours today. Like, what? Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now after the trial ended. I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Done well. Did you get to see the chessboard? I did see the chessboard, yeah. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me. Hope not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it all off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Lana! Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago. Was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It's all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in this mess. Sis. I asked Aunt to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you're only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis. I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. GG's. We did it! No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Lana, I am single, just saying. Why must we make up for mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on towards a brighter future. Woo! At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe, but me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Where was he hiding? I just came to say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I cannot correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth, not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I could feel it. You and me were the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. No, Edgy. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gaunt did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back on today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana's talking about. Partners. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. That's the picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. Kiss, kiss, kiss. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. Bye. See ya. I better be going too. Okay. But I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation? I love how they're like kids' books. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis, I will. And so another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Aww. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey on my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here is the one who'll be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? What, do you think I can afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, it's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Yeah, Edgeworth is the rich one. Come on, Gumshoe. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. Oh, should we please studying under a top coroner? As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find a way back to the field somehow. Then I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Yikes! I thought I was a goner there for a moment. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If it penalized you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. It just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily. Sure. Yeah. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them, though. Someday they're gonna make it. Yes, sir. Then I can be just like Dick Gumshoe. Go do your laundry. I'll start playing the next game in a little bit. I'm gonna take a break anyway. Then I'll start playing the second game. If you have time after, you can come back. If not, go enjoy your day. Whatever you want to do, I'll talk to you. Just go do your laundry. Wow, what a great update from my favorite character. Blue Badger. Fighting crime and dancing. Oh no, he's dead! He died! Chat, he's dead. What can we do? What is it? Can't you see him having me a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Miss Starr managed to sneak this into me. She's seeing one of those guards. Well, cowboy, it looks like you did it. You even gave the Bambina back her... You can make Billy the gang out of the guild. Make sure that Billy and the gang get their water. Oh, yeah, okay. Billy and the gang. He's in prison. So sad. Looks like I won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. Just make sure not to eat it backwards, sugar. Mom keeps saying, wow, it must be a good book, Allie. Me watching Ace Attorney. It's fine. I'll never forget what a young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see what his name was. What was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I better be... Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, gotta go. Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya! Afternoon train's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. I will. Don't worry, Allie. You'll be the first to know. There's a whole trilogy to go through. You never know when it might happen. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I brought you your tea. I brought you your tea. What's going on? Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be all right. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. Aw, that's cute. Yay! We did it.